Pew Center on the States did this really excellent study on the amount of time Americans are spending in prison. And they focused on 3 different issues. They focused on violent crimes, property crimes, and non-violent drug offenses. What they found was that when they looked at Florida specifically, when people were spending time in prison for non-violent drug crimes, inmates spent 194% more time behind bars in 2009 than they did in 1990.
Wow.
This is the private prison system at play.
Now, do you think that in that period of time that non-violent drug offenses somehow got much more dangerous? They're non-violent, right? No, they didn't get any more dangerous. We didn't decide as a society, hey, you know what? We really need to punish these people twice as hard as we used to. No, somebody's making a buck off of it. When somebody makes a buck off of it, all of a sudden it doubles.
It's incredible. These numbers were really telling. They were telling. And what's amazing is it's not going to change anything. It's actual evidence that shows the impact of people spending time in prison. In the United States alone, we are spending $10 billion a year on locking people up just for the additional amount of time, okay? So let's look at the national statistic. Nationally speaking, since 1990, there's a 36% rise in the amount of time that people are spending behind bars. When you look at Florida alone, it's 166%.
And that, of course, coincides not only in Florida, but nationwide with the explosion of for-profit, privately run prisons. When you make anything for profit, people will make more of it. They'll make more sneakers, they'll make more jeans, they'll make more TV shows, and they'll make more prisons and need to fill them up with more prisoners. Now, this is not sneakers. They're playing with our lives.
They are playing with our lives. Not only are they playing with our lives, they're making things up about how this is saving money, this is fighting crime, but that's not the case at all. These private prisons don't save money. In fact, we're spending an additional $10 billion a year on locking people up. And at the same time, it's not helping with crime at all. In fact, the study found this out, and this is the most important finding from the study. All of the states that reduced average prison stays experienced overall drops in crime, suggesting that longer periods of incarceration had minimal public safety benefit.
But of course, they don't want it to have a benefit. Think about it, right? Part of prison used to be rehabilitation. We've really lost track of that in the U.S. I don't know if anybody even cares about it anymore, even though as decent human beings who want a decent society, we should care, because those people are going to come out of prison at some point, and we want them rehabilitated so they don't commit crime again. But that's what we want. That's not what private prisons want. They want people to commit crime again so they go back to prison so that prison can make more money. So they have a disincentive to rehabilitate you. They have an incentive, in fact, to make you more criminal inside their prisons, to create a condition in which you become more violent or more likely to repeat crimes so they can get more business. Now think about how ugly that is. And my God, what are we doing allowing for-profit prisons? It's madness. But unfortunately, as with everything else in our society, money runs the world. And so as long as we have a political system that's run on money, they're going to have private prisons that they funnel more people into, because those private prisons are going to funnel the money to the politicians. And eventually we spend $10 billion more, we lock up more people, society gets hurt, but who cares? The guys who made the decisions, the politicians and the people who run those private corporations, they love the system because they made more money.
Now, fortunately, there is some good news out of this study. There were 2 states that actually shortened the amount of time they put people behind bars, and those 2 states were Illinois and Nevada. And it turns out that their crime rate actually dropped. Okay, so it's a perfect case study. So what are we doing in this country? Of course, politicians know this. Politicians aren't morons. But they're bought off, and that's the reason why they don't care about what's happening in society. They don't care about the amount of money we waste. They're going to continue doing this.
Now, look, I don't think that they look at Illinois and Nevada, like, for example, politicians of Florida, and go, oh, I get it. We're fucking our people, right? Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to imprison more people in Florida. I think this is an awful system. I know what the better system is, but I'm going to vote the other way because I'm a corrupt son of a bitch, right?
No, they justify it in their heads. Right.
So what they do is, conveniently, they don't get the Illinois and Nevada stats. Their staff never presents it to them. There's no lobbyist to present it to them. And if they do, they ignore them, okay? And they just minimize them and move on, and they concentrate on the stats that they like.